I told my parents and they were like, pole? What do you want to do that for? Like, like, what is the purpose of this? I think they were trying to, I mean, I guess it's a stereotype of pole being, I guess, just for strippers.
Yep.
And I think they were a bit shocked when I said that I wanted to do pole.
That's kind of where it originated, right? Is that right? Like pole, is that where it originated?
Yeah.
It's kind of what we're exposed to from a media point of view as well.
Yeah. So they were quite shocked. But
would it have mattered if they said, Marissa, we don't really want you to do it?
Well, that's exactly what they said actually at the beginning. But I guess I just took no heed of that and started it anyway. And I think along the way they kind of grew to accept that it was a big part of who I was. And honestly, I think the shift in my confidence level actually came from pole. A lot of people at pole I guess you have to be a certain type of person. Like you have to be quite open-minded to start pole.
Yep.
Because of the stigma that surrounds it. And I think being around so many open-minded people who are very body positive and, you know, they had things like a strong sense of self-worth and self-confidence really helped bring me out of my shell. And I guess they were the people I was inspired by at pole were not only role models for me at pole, but role models for how I wanted to see myself in a more general sense in terms of confidence. And
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, that's really great.
I think because obviously Kev's spoken about his journey with us, and he was saying, you know, when he first did it and he started putting up a couple of videos, a few of the extended family members were a bit like, ooh, I don't know about this. And then he's doing it for himself. And his confidence grew. And again, the community probably helped.
Yeah, I was hyper aware of how that would look as a straight male doing it as well. But I took it all in stride and I wanted to make a impact on my family. Because there was a point in the early stages where I'd bought heels and got pink purposely to really make the statement that anyone can do this.
Yep.
But yeah, I echo Marissa's sentiments. My confidence grew like crazy from that. I think it grew really big from Cali, and then when I joined Pole, I was like, oh, it's pretty much the same environment. Everyone's really
Slightly
supportive.
less clothes.
And yeah, slightly less. I was topless before, now I'm pantless.
It's a progression.
It's a progression, yeah.
Next. I also really like how you just said that it's to actually want to start Pole, you have to really be open-minded. And I think a lot of people aren't. So that's why they don't do it.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have guys like you come on and actually talk about it. It's not just for stripping. It's not just for looking cool on Instagram. There's a whole community that's super supportive about it. So
yeah. I mean, I think at the same time too, there's a lot of, sex workers and strippers in the community. And I think it's important to acknowledge that that's kind of where Pole came from. And I think there's a big push right now to remember the roots of Pole, because at one stage, because of the stigma, a lot of people in the pole community were trying to differentiate from the sex worker community, being like, this is pole fitness, this isn't stripping.
Yep.
But in doing that, that kind of alienates that whole group that was the reason why we started our sport in the first place. So yeah, I think it's really important to remember where this art form, this sport came from.